Welcome back to Cover Crunch, your trusted resource for navigating the complex world of insurance with clarity and confidence. Today, we are tackling one of the most common yet most misunderstood aspects of any motor policy: the critical difference between commuting and business class of use. Getting this small detail wrong, even by accident, could lead to your entire insurance coverage being completely invalidated. It is absolutely essential to understand your policy's terms before you ever turn the key in the ignition for work-related journeys. The first and most basic category of use is typically referred to as social, domestic, and pleasure, or often abbreviated as SDP. This provides coverage for all non-work-related driving activities, such as shopping excursions, visiting friends and family members, and taking holidays. It is the minimum coverage required for everyday personal use, but it explicitly excludes any form of travel to or from a regular place of employment. If you only use your car for weekends and errands, this is the appropriate selection for you. The next step up in coverage is known as social, domestic, pleasure, and commuting, commonly listed as SDP+C. This category includes everything covered by the previous class, with the crucial addition of covering your trip to and from a single, fixed place of work. If you drive your vehicle to your office building, factory, or store every day, this is the insurance class you must absolutely select. Failure to select this class while commuting puts you in breach of your policy terms from the beginning. It is important to emphasize that the commuting classification only covers the journey to and from that single, fixed location where you perform your job duties. It does not extend coverage to any driving performed during the working day itself. For example, if you drive to your primary office and then spend the rest of the day sitting at your desk, the commuting class is perfectly adequate for your needs. This single designation is generally suitable for the vast majority of employed individuals. The business class of use is where the definitions begin to diversify and become more complex, introducing multiple tiers of coverage. Business use is required for any driving that is an inherent and necessary part of earning your income beyond just traveling to your main place of work. This distinction is based on the increased risk that insurers associate with driving to multiple locations, potentially carrying equipment, or traveling during non-peak business hours. It represents a substantial increase in exposure for the underwriting company. The most common tier is Business Use Class 1, which provides cover for the policyholder to travel to multiple fixed places of business or to visit clients and suppliers at various locations. This is typically the correct category for professionals such as architects, consultants, salespeople, or community nurses who drive between patient appointments. Class 1 generally carries a specific limit on the annual mileage dedicated to these business-related activities. Always consult your insurance policy documents for the exact mileage allowance permitted under this class. Moving to a higher tier, Business Use Class 2 offers the exact same coverage as Class 1, but includes cover for one or more named drivers on the policy. This means a partner, spouse, or colleague can also use the insured vehicle for the designated business purposes, subject to the policyholder's own terms and conditions. If you have another individual who needs to use your car to visit multiple clients or attend different work sites, this extension is completely essential. Remember that the named driver must generally be using the car for the same business as the primary policyholder. The highest level of non-commercial business use is often labeled as Business Use Class 3, or sometimes referred to as commercial traveling. This class is designed for individuals who spend a significant amount of their working time driving long distances, covering unlimited miles, and visiting an unlimited number of locations for the business. Professional sales representatives who travel constantly across a large geographical area often require this extensive level of protection. This high exposure category naturally involves a higher insurance premium due to the increased probability of accidents. It is absolutely crucial to understand the clear line where business use ends and commercial use begins, as these terms are not interchangeable. Commercial vehicle insurance is required when your vehicle is the primary tool of your trade, directly involved in carrying goods or passengers for hire or reward. Examples include professional taxi drivers, driving instructors, couriers, or food delivery drivers who are paid for the act of transportation itself. If your car is your workplace on wheels, you most likely need a specialist commercial policy, not just a standard business class of use extension. The reason why this class of use is so fundamentally important comes down to the concept of risk assessment, which is the cornerstone of every insurance calculation. An insurer assesses the probability of you making a claim based on factors like where you drive, when you drive, and how often you drive on the open roads. A driver who only drives to one fixed office location during predictable rush hours presents a completely different risk profile than a salesperson who drives thousands of unpredictable miles throughout the entire country. If you choose a lower class of use than what your actual driving habits require, you are essentially misleading the insurer about the true level of risk you present to them. This misrepresentation is seen as a serious breach of the insurance contract you have signed and agreed upon. Insurers use the information you provide at the time of purchasing the policy to calculate the appropriate premium for the precise level of risk they are accepting. Providing incorrect information jeopardizes this entire arrangement. The most devastating consequence of having the wrong class of use is the potential for your entire insurance policy to be declared null and void in the event of an accident or claim. This means the insurance company is entitled to treat the policy as if it never existed, refusing to pay for any damages or injuries incurred. Imagine being involved in a collision while driving to a client meeting, only to discover that your claim is instantly rejected because you only had commuting cover. If your claim is denied, you become personally and financially responsible for all the associated costs, which can be absolutely catastrophic in scope. This includes paying for the full repairs to your own vehicle and, critically, paying for all the damage and costs incurred by any innocent third parties involved in the incident. In cases involving serious injury or extensive property damage, these costs can easily escalate into tens of thousands of pounds or even exceed £1 million. Furthermore, driving without valid insurance, which is the immediate legal consequence of an invalidated policy, is considered a serious criminal offense in many jurisdictions. You could face a substantial fine, receive a significant number of penalty points on your driving license, or potentially even receive a driving ban from the courts. Having a conviction for driving without insurance will also make obtaining future insurance policies incredibly difficult and extremely expensive for many years to come. Many people make the honest mistake of assuming that once they select a commuting class, they are covered for occasional work-related trips, but this is a dangerous assumption. Even if you only make 1 or 2 trips to a different office or a supplier each year, those journeys are classified as business use, and your commuting policy will not provide cover for them. It is far better to pay a slightly increased premium for the correct cover than to face financial ruin over an entirely preventable error. For those whose work habits change frequently, perhaps due to a new job, a promotion, or a shift to a hybrid working arrangement, it is vital to immediately notify your insurance provider about the change. If you stop commuting entirely and begin working only from home, you can usually downgrade to social, domestic, and pleasure and potentially receive a refund for the reduced risk. Conversely, if you transition from home working back to commuting, you must upgrade your policy without any delay. The process of updating your class of use is generally straightforward and can often be completed by making a simple telephone call to your insurance provider or by adjusting the policy details online. Most insurers prefer you to be completely honest about your driving habits, even if it means adjusting your premium slightly upward. They would much rather have the correct information on file than deal with the complexities of an invalid claim following an unfortunate incident. Take the time to thoroughly review the specific wording used in your current insurance policy documents concerning the definition of your class of use. The terminology used by different insurance companies can sometimes vary slightly, especially around what constitutes a single place of work versus multiple business locations. Do not rely on general assumptions. Always verify the details directly with your insurer if you have any lingering doubts or questions. A great practical tip is to keep a clear, detailed record of your vehicle use for a typical month, distinguishing between social trips, commuting journeys, and dedicated business travel. This record will provide irrefutable evidence of your usage patterns, helping you to select the precise class of use that matches your real-world driving habits perfectly. This proactive approach is the very best defense against potential issues with a future claim. Securing the correct class of use is not an attempt by insurers to be pedantic. It is a fundamental pillar of maintaining a legally valid and financially robust insurance contract. Your insurance is a safety net, and you must ensure the knots of that net are tied correctly to support you when you need it most. Do not delay. Check your policy today and confirm that your cover is solid and completely appropriate for all your driving needs. Thanks for watching this video. If you found the video great, please take a moment to subscribe this channel and like the video as it truly helps us crunch more cover information for you. If you have any questions about commuting versus business use, leave me your comment through the comment section below.